the figurines of students themselves, right, in the green room, and then
Yeah, sometimes if they can't find video or whatever, they'll just go and film their friend. Like if you're going to be Hercules, pretend like you're lifting something really heavy and film that and use that as the reference.
Do you know how many about myths or fables? I mean, the different ones, because there were so many.
There's so many. Some of them are redundant. Like 3 or 4 people did King Arthur's Sword in Stone. You know, there was a few crossovers, but I didn't really think that'd be a problem. I just,
No,
you know, I
it's
think.
so impressive. I saw the one last year at the board meeting, and I really liked the soundtrack. It was right in
Yeah.
the myths. So
Yeah,
very
so
good.
this time we own the music and everything, so yeah, now it can be posted. We
So
can use it for promotion purposes a little more effectively.
questions, comments, feedback for Eric on his project?
I thought it was amazing. You miss up mine now.
Right, I'm so happy with the way it came out. I was showed it to my wife. She was just like,
Alyssa and then Laura.
Okay, so first off, your work is always impressive to me. I mean, I loved it at the board meeting, I love it again. And 2 questions. So, because it's a compilation of all the students' work, and I saw their names at the end,
Yeah.
how did the students feel about that group project in the end? And then the second question, I remember last year your students entered the Disney contest. Is there somewhere that you can enter this into a contest this year?
okay, so yeah, as far as entering this into a contest, I don't know. There is a category in the Disney Festival that's called School Reel, which I did enter, and that's more of kind of showing different projects that we do in the class. They don't have, I was thinking about that myself, and I'm like, they have a special effects category, and I might be able to enter it as like a special effects group project. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, and that's where we got all those submissions in just a couple of weeks ago, so we should be finding out in a couple of weeks if we're in it again, you know. And then, I'm sorry, what was the
Typically, your students have individual projects.
Yeah.
But this was a group project.
Yeah.
So what kind of feedback did they say? How did they feel?
Well, I think everyone had a lot of fun with it. I think the part that really worked out well was the creative collaboration that happened at the beginning, when they were thinking of what would be interesting themes, and we wrote like 20 different theme ideas, and everyone went up there and voted, and after a serious voting, we sort of honed in on one and did the same thing with the art direction. And I was actually surprised at how enthusiastic they were to do that. I wasn't sure if they'd be like, oh, if that would get resistance, but yeah, they were really, really into it.
Good.
I think it inspired them even more. Yeah.
Great.
So it's really, really student voice and choice.
Yeah, more so than it's ever been on this particular project. And yeah, it worked out really well.
Eric? Laura, your question?
So I guess you somewhat answered it in there, but what was one of the biggest challenges that they had? Because that is very impressive and very thoughtful.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was trying to think like, okay, if this is the creature you're making, if you're trying to make like a dragon, what animals would you use as reference for a dragon? So I would be talking about things like, lizards or birds. Now that we know about, the connection there, maybe looking at the way a bird moves in combination, or the idea, giving maybe some of those, planting some seeds on what sort of animal movements they might look at. Some of them were having just a hard time understanding the difference between a historical event and a myth. Like they were picking like a famous Battle of Sparta because they saw the movie, and I'm like, that actually happened. That's a real battle. That's not a myth.
Eric, that relates to what question I was going to ask is, do the students have to do any reporting out, explaining or kind of really analyzing what their myth is and what it means?
Yeah, at the very beginning, that's it. They all type up a paragraph for me that identifies the myth, that explains the physical action, the part of that myth that they're going to capture, and then the types of videos they're going to start looking for reference. And that's where we sort of do a check-in, and I help kind of, guide it a little bit.
Great. Thank you, Eric, very much.
Thank you.